Good afternoon. Here is the national news from our studio BGI TV, Baba Bangede Imo TV. I am yours faithfully, Mori Rebila Lawa. First are the major headlines for the national news. Some Nigerians haven't seen 5,000 naira before, says Minister. FG PDP clash as economy grows by 3.4%, highest in 7 years. Amidst scarcity, Nscdc nabbed 2 persons with 30 kegs of fuel in Ilorin. In the Boski, why Nigerians will never forget Buhari, Femi additional. Osun 2022, CSOs demand Aregbesol's sack for allegedly fueling crisis. And to the last story in Kaduna State, terrorists abduct 8 women, set 1 free on health ground. The news in detail. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, has dismissed as Ernest assertion comments that the regime's 5,000 naira monthly national conditional cash transfer to some poor and vulnerable people is insufficient to lift Nigerians out of poverty. She said this to State House correspondent on Thursday during the weekly ministerial media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications team at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. According to her, the government has discovered through direct contact with the beneficiaries that the money has helped the poor and vulnerable of the society to escape from their dire situation, even as some have been able to save from the amount. But for these poor people in the communities, they were able to save out of the 5,000 naira if it's not okay making any impact. If it's not changing their economic status, I don't think anybody will force them to contribute that 1,000 naira to provide that vehicle for their use. So 5,000 naira goes a long way. When people say 5,000 naira does not save people, that is an illicit statement, because we have had courses to go to the field and we have seen these people that when you give them this 5,000 naira, they cried and shed tears because they have never seen 5,000 naira in their lives. So it goes a long way. It changes their status, and by that, it lifts them from one state to another. Following the inspections of some southern states, she said the problem of out-of-school children was not peculiar to the north. The minister, who presented a detailed briefing of the activities of her ministry, confirmed that there were over 10 million out-of-school children strewn across the country, who were earlier believed to be domiciled in the north. Farouk, who cited a recent survey in Makoko in Lagos, Enugu, and Jos, said the situation of out-of-school children was widespread, as there were about 7,000 such children in Makoko alone. The federal government and the People's Democratic Party on Thursday exchanged words over a report by the National Bureau of Statistics in which it was stated that Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 3.4% in 2021, the highest in 7 years. The GDP report released by the National Bureau of Statistics on Thursday also showed that the economy weakened further in the fourth quarter of 2021 after recording a decline in the third quarter of last year. Specifically, the report revealed that the quarterly GDP growth fell to 3.98% in quarter 4 2021 from the 4.03% and 5.01% recorded in quarter 3 and quarter 2 respectively. According to findings, the annual growth rate of 3.4% is the highest the country has recorded in 7 years. The last time the country's annual GDP growth rate exceeded 3% was in 2014, when a 6.22% growth was recorded. In 2015, annual GDP stood at 2.7%. It contracted to minus 1.58% in 2016, rebounded slightly to 0.8% in 2017. Grew to 1.91% in 2018 and 2.27% in 2019. Due to the scarcity of fuel in Nigeria, while PMS scarcity bites had across the nooks and crannies of Kwara State, causing very few vehicles to now be on the roads, the State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nscdc, said it has arrested 2 middle-aged men, Yunus Yusuf, 32, and Ismail Olamilekon, 33, for allegedly engaging in the black market business of the premium motor spirit, PMS. According to spokesman of the corps in the states, Babawale Zaid Afolabi, the two suspects were arrested with more than 30 kegs of petrol, which they apparently bought from neighboring states and plan to sell at a higher price to end users in the state's capital. The statement of the Nscdc spokesperson reads, as directed by the state commandant Makinde Iskil Ayala, the anti-vandal unit of the Nscdc in the state, led by the unit commander ACC Ayinde Yusuf, continue with their operational activities in order to check any action or inaction that can worsen the current fuel scarcity in situation. They were able to intercept the taxi cab at Ayankori area, which was loaded with 30 kegs of PMS. And to the next story, the special advisor of the president, President Muhammadu Buhari, on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, has claimed that Nigerians will always remember his vote for various infrastructures put up by his administration in the last 7 years. In a statement on Thursday night, the presidential aide opined that if only for the second Niger bridge, which is currently under construction, President Buhari would always be remembered even after he vacated Aso Rock in 2023. He insisted that no matter how Buhari's critics may perceive the administration, Nigerians will never forget the president following his strides in infrastructural depth, despite the fact that the country earns far less than it's used to. According to Mr. Femi, it takes determination and doggedness of the president to build infrastructures across the country amid security challenges which he claimed are also being tackled frontally. He said, surely this country will always remember Buhari for good, no matter how revisionists have tried to shroud the successes with only talk of insecurity ravaging the country. In the Bosque, Nigeria will always remember Buhari for his strides in infrastructure, while the country was earning far less than it used to. But I repeat, in the Bosque, the country will never forget Buhari, if only for the second Niger bridge. Back to Osun State. Ahead of the Osun State governorship primary election of the All Progressive Congress APC, scheduled for Saturday, a coalition of civil society organizations in Osun State has called on the federal government to sack the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, for allegedly promoting crisis in the state. Aregbesola, a former governor of the state, has been having a running battle with his successor, Boyega Oyetola, over the control of the party in the state. The spokesperson of the coalition, Mr. Wasiu Ali, made the call while addressing the press conference on Thursday in Abuja. The coalition said that Aregbesola had in the past 1 week engaged in a public show of rascality, encouragement of followers to behave in manners that undermine the pretenders of the present administration in the state, the inauguration of elder statesmen, among many others. It stressed that the recent utterances of Aregbesola are already hitting the polity in the state to a point where residents now live in fear. The coalition pointed out that if the federal government fails to call Aregbesola to order and charge him to focus on his official responsibilities instead of going about causing civil unrest, it will end up inflaming the otherwise peaceful Osun State. And finally, story coming from Kaduna State. The resident of Sarkin Hausawa of Angwaru Azara in Jere, alongside Abuja Kaduna Highway, Malam Ibrahim Tanko, has been raided by terrorists abducting his wife alongside his 4 daughters. The names of the kidnapped wives are Maimuna Ibrahim and Awahu Ibrahim, according to Ibrahim Tanko. Malam Ibrahim Tanko, the husband of the abducted persons, confirmed that his elder wife, Awahu Ibrahim, who the terrorists discovered is suffering from high blood pressure, was set free. According to him, the terrorists used sophisticated weapons when they stormed his house around 12 a.m. on Tuesday, saying that he managed to escape through one of the exit doors in the house. He explained that it was after they sat and couldn't see me that they left in annoyance. According to him, Ibrahim Tanko, the names of the daughters abducted are Husseina Ibrahim, Aisha Ibrahim, Zainab Ibrahim, and Farida Ibrahim. He explained that after abducting his family members, the terrorists went to a neighbor's house and went away with 4 other residents, together with a nursing mother named Laraba Umar. The Sarkin Hausawa further explained that the terrorists macheted the nursing mother's husband until he became unconscious, lamenting that the man is presently receiving treatment in a private hospital in Katari. He stated that soldiers later arrived at the scene after an hour when the terrorists had left with the victims. The State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Mohammed Janige, confirmed that the police was not aware of the incident, but promised to contact the police area commander of Katari. That was the national news from BGI TV. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Cash transfer. Some Nigerians haven't seen 5,000 naira before, says Minister. FG PDP clash as economy grows by 3.4%, highest in 7 years. We're also brought to you amidst scarcity. Nscdc nabbed 2 persons with 30 kegs of fuel in Ilorin. Why Nigerians will never forget Buhari, Femi Adesina. Osun 2022. CSOs demand Arabashala's sack for allegedly fueling crisis. And finally, story coming from Kaduna State. Terrorists abduct 8 women, set 1 free on health ground. For more updates of our broadcast on our YouTube channel, the handle is Babagbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell for you to have our updates. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page to allow you have our update as well. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advertisements of goods and services, coverage of events and function, the phone number streaming on your screen is the number to dial. I am Moribe Rabi Lalawa. Good afternoon.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.